Good people, turn back to the front of your packet. Today is Tuesday, the 5th. Shh, guys, please make sure your volume is off. Shh, somebody's still talking. Yes. It's a stapler right there. Come and staple real quickly. I'm sorry. All right. Put your first and last name at the top of your paper, please, if you haven't already done that. This week, your warm up is due, of course, Friday. The warm ups that we're only doing warm up numbers 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and we're doing the same thing with homework. Mark out the other ones. We're only doing the set B, sets B, C, and D, and these are due Friday. On the Canvas page, you can watch the daily video if you missed it. If you're absent, you can watch the daily video. Please make sure, I want to say, please make sure that you submit. You can submit early if you want to on Thursday, or you can submit on Friday. If you haven't finished the things from last week, go ahead and just submit it, please. I'm not taking points off for being late at this point. I just need you to submit your work. Okay, so if you want to improve your grade, go back and resubmit assignments. This week we have a test. So we have Unit 1 study guide on. We're gonna start it Wednesday, but I'm gonna go over it on Thursday. And then we have our unit test. It's not gonna be long. I don't know why I put 2. It's gonna be on Friday. Please study the study guide because the test looks just like the study guide. This one's not gonna be very complicated. Just what you see on the study guide is what you're gonna see on the test. Okay. I'm gonna do a tutoring session online. Let's make ours probably today. Let's do Wednesday. And I got 1 at 2, 1 at Wednesday lesson 1 for 3, 4, 5. And it's virtual. So if you need help, all you gotta do is log into Canvas and click on the virtual link on Wednesday. Okay? All right. Any questions so far? Okay. Yesterday we worked on week 6. We made sure, or I made sure that you knew where everything was so that you could, Ian, please stop. Okay. Make sure everything was on the Canvas page so you can go ahead and submit your stuff. Okay, so that's what we did yesterday. Today, we're going to write down our EQ. You've already completed or should have started the warm-up. We're going to go over the warm-up. We have some notes that we're going to do on key features. You watched the video last week on key features, so if you watched the video, you already know what key features probably are. But I just want to reiterate that and make sure that you understood everything that we went over in the videos from last week. Okay? If you have enough time, you can go ahead and start your homework. Okay? Your homework for tonight is set 7B. Let's write down the essential questions. We have 3. The first one is, what is a function? That is in your notes. What is a function?
Was those ones last week?
Yes, we didn't answer them though. Describe how to, yeah, except for the last one we didn't write last week. I don't think we did. We might have. Describe how to solve equations written in function notation.
Yeah, we
read these last week.
Yeah, did y'all answer them?
No.
Okay. And what are the key features of a function? Please make sure that you go back and study the notes, especially the stuff that we did last week in those videos. Please, if you haven't watched those videos, you need to make sure that you do, because you are accountable for that information. Please make sure that you go back and do that. If you haven't done that, please go back and get that done. Okay? All right, we're going to go over warm up number 2. It says find the volume of a cylinder with the radius of 3 and a height of 5. A cylinder is a circular shape, has circular shape base. Okay, the formula for volume of a cylinder is V, which represents volume. It's going to be pi, which is the ratio of the circumference and the diameter, R squared times how tall it is. This is the area of the circle. When you pour water or some form of liquid into a cylinder, the bottom, the area has to be covered first. And then as you continue to pour water, what increases? The height increases. So the formula for volume is always going to be the area of whatever the base is times how tall that item is. Because volume is how many cubic uh cubic units, because it could be feet, could be inches, could be whatever, meters. So it's how many cubic units can fit into a solid. So since this is a circular solid, you find the area of the circle and you multiply it times how tall that object is. That tells you how much is in that content. Okay? So again, your pi, this number is a number that we use with circular shapes only. It is the ratio of your circumference and your diameter. Okay, and why you have to use pi is because it doesn't have edges per se. It's not like you can measure that length. So that's why you use pi, which again is the ratio of the circumference and your diameter. Okay. All right. So your pi, the number for pi is 3 and 1400ths. And it's a roundabout answer because you know pi is an irrational number. Or the fraction for pi is about, and I should put the squiggly lines because it's about, is 22/7. It's about, because remember, irrational number you can't write as a fraction. So this is just a rounded fraction. It's not the actual answer because there's no actual answer for the irrational number. Okay? Yes. It's rounded. Yes. Both are rounded because it's an irrational number. Okay? Yes, baby. Yes. All right. So we have 3 and 1400ths here times your radius, which is 3. So we square it. Why do you square your radius? Think about it like this. Volume is in the third dimension. It's how long it is, it's how wide it is, and it's also depth or height. Okay? It's 3-dimensional. Okay? So this is 2-dimensional there, and then you have the height, that's the third dimension. Okay? So it's this way. Well, it's a circle, so it's the radius this way. Okay? And then it's radius this way also, which gives you the length and the width basically, and then how tall it is. Okay? It's 3-dimensional. Your height in this problem is 5. This is times 5. So now we have our calculators. We're going to type this in. We're going to type this in our calculator to get an answer. Okay. So we're going to type in 3 and 1400ths times. We have 3 squared. Squared is right here. Times 5. Okay. Press enter and write your answer. Write your answer here. And that's going to be centimeters to the third power. All right. Number 5. Here, we're going to type this in our calculator for this one. Or, that gives us enough space. Let's write it out. We got 2.3 times 5.1. This is 3, 2. This is 15. This is 11. How many decimal spaces? 1, 2. So far, 11.5. Okay. Then we have these, which that looks weird. It's supposed to be like this to the negative 10. To the negative 2. And then 10 to the negative 3. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay. So now you're going to add. You're going to add these together. So when you add the exponents, that's negative 2 plus a negative 3. So that's going to give you a negative what? That's going to give you negative 5. So our answer is going to be 11.5 times 10 to the negative 5th. The only issue with this, yes, I'm sorry. Oh, we didn't add, did we? Sorry, baby cheeks. I'm rushing. Trying to get finished. Thank you. Then what do we do here? 7, 1, and then we move it over 2 times. All right. So now, the only thing about this number, guys, is look, this is not written in scientific notation because it's not directly behind the first significant digit. So we're going to move it 1 time. So what that means, when you move it 1 time here, we've got to add 1. So to the exponent, because you moved it over. So this is times 10 to the what power now? Negative what?
4. Negative 4.
Mm-hmm. All right. The last one says, sketch a graph that makes the following scenario. The number of tickets sold for Scarowinds and the price per ticket. So you're doing a graph. Which one are you going to graph along the X? And which one would you graph along the Y? It says number of tickets sold, sold for Scarewinds and the price per ticket. Which one would you graph along the X? Which one would you graph along the Y? What do you think?
You would, on the bottom, you would do number of tickets. The X, you would do number of tickets, and on Y, you would do price per ticket.
Okay, so you think that the dependent variable, which one did you say was Y again? I forgot.
Wait, no. X would, no?
Which one is dependent on the other? Does the number of tickets sold?
Number of tickets. So X would be number of tickets, and Y would, no, I keep switching around.
I think I know what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Number of tickets sold is dependent on the price per ticket. Yeah, I agree with you. So number of tickets sold is going to be here. It's going to depend on the price per ticket. Okay. Look, why is this dependent on this? Because look, guys, the more expensive those tickets get, the less people are probably going to come. The cheaper there are, if it's $1, you're going to come versus having to pay $20, right or wrong? Okay. All right. So there we go.
I wish they were $1.
Yeah. So what do you think that's going to look like? How do you think the graph is going to look? As this increases, what do you think is going to happen to the number of tickets sold?
It's going to go down.
Okay, so it's pretty much going to go down like this, right? Okay. Until nobody's going to go because it's just not worth it, right? At some point. Because $100 I ain't going.
Yeah,
$20 I ain't going.
no. Wait.
But yeah. 100 I'm not going. Sorry.
20 we can talk that out.
20 is good, I think. And 20 a good price, you think?
Yeah, for like
I think 20 is a good price.
depending on
But 100 I ain't paying. I ain't paying 100. Yeah, that's a lot. All right, so I'm gonna pause here. Please use the scissors that are in the either you have scissors or it's in my pencil pouch. If you use the scissors that are in the pencil pouch, please make sure that you use the hand sanitizer. All right, so here we go. Look, you see these little slits on the front? Just cut those. Okay. All right, so all you do after you cut that is you're gonna fold it over just like this.
So you just cut it to the line.
Yes, just cut it to the line, babe. Hopefully yours look neater than mine, but here's what it is on that. Yep. All right, so now
Wait, I did it.
do not forget, I want to make sure you got the correct page number. This is page 24. Okay. Function table and function notation. 25 is key terms. 26 is inequality word problems. 27 is key features. And this one's going to be 28, okay?
Did we need to get these checked off by you? Our notes from last week? Because she came by and signed them. I didn't know.
No, because I'll check them off when you submit.
Oh.
All right, here we go. This is going to be key features, foldable. Yes. They were last week. 26 is inequality word problems, and 27 is key features. This is key features, foldable. We're going to paste this down right here. And these are going to be key features of a graph. And we're going to paste this down just like this. All right, these are the key features of a graph that was talked about in the video as well. We're going to go through these, and then I'm going to give you a sheet that I want you to identify some of the key features, and I'm going to let you work on your own on that, okay? So please make sure that you're listening so you'll know exactly what I mean. All right, these are the key features of a graph. As always, anytime you have a graph, this is super important. And some of you already know this. I'm going to pause for the calls because some of us aren't listening. You guys are still gluing. Okay, so anytime you have a graph, the first thing that you automatically want to do is read the title. Please make sure that you read the title. I know you've talked about inferences before, or if you haven't, you'll talk about it this year. You can infer a lot of things about a title. Just by reading the title can tell you a lot of things about that graph alone. Please make sure that you make inferences. All right. Another thing that you do with graphs is identifying what your domain and range is. What's the domain?
X values.
Those are your X values. What's the range?
The Y values.
The Y values. Okay, so here inside it says domain and range. Domain is all the domain is a set of all possible X or input values. Okay. To find the domain of a graph, we look at the X axis of the graph. So you find your domain values by looking at how far it is from one end of the line on your X axis to the other end. Okay. Your range are all your possible Y values in that graph. How do you look for your range? You look at your Y axis, how tall it is. Where do the numbers range from on the Y axis? What are all your possible Y values? All right. X and Y intercept. Kind of self-explanatory. Your x-intercept is where the line or the graph crosses the x-axis. Your y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay? Any place on the x-axis, if it crosses the x-axis, that means your y-coordinate is going to be 0. If it crosses the y-axis, that means your x value is going to be 0. Any questions about x or y intercept? All right. Minimum and maximum values. Okay. Your minimum value, what do you think that means? Your lowest point. What is your maximum value?
Highest point.
The highest point. Okay. Very simplistic. Okay. Intervals of increase and decrease. Okay. So in these graphs, and we did this a little bit with the homework as we went over the homework from last week, you have to identify at what point in the graph does it increase and at what point is it decreasing or the line is going down. And of course, a flat line is going to be what? It's right. That means it stayed at that speed. Now, if it is a constant increase, that means it's constantly going up. Constant decrease, that means it's constantly going down. But if it's constantly staying at the same rate, it's going to be a flat line. Okay? Any questions about those? So now I'm going to give you directions on how to answer these questions. And this part I do want you to do on your own. Please listen to the directions. Okay? We'll make this. All right. So when I give you this sheet, please just listen. Please listen what I'm saying. I need for you on, and what I probably do, we're going to paste this here, but we're going to write the answers on this piece of paper right beside it. So we have A. The first thing that I want you to tell me, look, is I want you to tell me the range and the domain, okay? So you have your range, and I'm going to leave this up here so you can see it. I just want you to listen. You have your range and domain. I'm put domain first because that's X. Domain, which are your X values, and your range, which are your Y values, okay? I'm going to do this first one for you so you can kind of see how that goes. If I have to do more, that's fine, but just listen. All of your possible X values, so that means we're looking at your X-axis. How far does your line go over on the X-axis? It starts over here, and it ends over here. So your possible X values, and these are dark lines, your possible X values go from negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from negative 6 to positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it goes from -6 to -7. So look, it goes from -6 to +7. You're going to put your X here because that's your X values. And it's going to be, since it's between, it's less than equal to, less than equal to, because it's between it. Okay, less than equal to, less than equal to. Because your values for X is between these two numbers. The smaller number is first. The larger number goes last. Let's look at your range, your Y values. It goes from here on the Y-axis. That's the lowest point. And the highest point is up here on the Y. So it's going from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from 0 to +6. So here, 0 to +6, put Y in the middle. So it's less than equal to, less than equal to. It's always going to be less than equal to if you put the smallest number first and the larger number second. If you reverse the order, then it's going to be greater than equal to, greater than equal to. Any questions about that? Okay. So the next thing I need you to tell me about the graph is going to be your X and Y intercept. Okay. So your X-intercept or intercepts is where it crosses the X-axis. So it crosses the X-axis. Look at the X-axis. It crosses right here at what? 1, 2, and 3. So your X-intercept is going to be 3. So your X-intercept is 3, 0. That's where it crosses the X-axis. If it crosses in more than one place, then that's what you put down. Your Y-intercept. This is where it crosses the Y-axis. Okay? So look, where does it cross the Y-axis? Right up here. This is positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's +6 and 0. So it's +6, 0, +6. Sorry, y'all. Any questions about that? Yes. Who was at? I thought it was somebody else that was after. Who? Okay, so go ahead. I thought it was somebody else. I didn't want to skip anybody. All right, minimum and maximum values. Okay, so your min and your max. All right, so the minimum value is down here. This is 1, 2, 3. This is your 3, 0. And your maximum is up here at 6, 0. Oops, 0, 6. Why do I keep doing that? I don't know. Jesus, please help me. Fix it, Jesus. All right, any questions about that? Are these going to always be? No, they're not. It just so happens that in this graph, it is. Yes. Oh, for which one? I'm sorry. Minimum. Right here is minimum. So minimum, this is the lowest point on the graph. This is the lowest point. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 0. The highest point is the highest peak is this one right here. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, and that's it. Those are is that the only one? Increasing, decreasing. This is a decrease here. Then this is a increase here at a rapid rate. This is a decrease here at a rapid rate. And this is also an increase here. Any questions about that? You have to put that in the notebook. So page is here and your thing is here.
Wait, so like whenever the intervals are increasing and decreasing, do you have to put the points where it does it?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, and so this is going to be page 29. Reading graphs. All right. Pause it here. If you have more questions, just ask, okay? If you need help, make sure that you raise your hand, okay? So for B, your domain is how from here to here, okay? So that's showing your x. Look at your possible x value. So it goes from here all the way over to here. So this is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7, negative 7, all the way to positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is less than equal to, but you see how this is an open circle? So that's just less than. Range is from the lowest point, which is here, to the highest point, which is up here. So that's negative 1, 2, 3, and positive 1. So negative 3, positive 1. Less than equal to, open circle, less than. You got it? You need to finish this tonight. I'm going to go over it with you tomorrow. You are lazy. Bless your little heart.